Good morning. Today we are going to see how to work with HIVE. So today I will be creating a table in HIVE and load the table with the data from Hadoop distributed file system, and we also will work with some basic queries in HIVE. Okay, now let me log into HIVE. To log into HIVE, I will open a new terminal. So here just type HIVE. You will be connected to HIVE terminal. Okay, the first thing we have to do is we need to create a database in HIVE. So let me execute show databases before I create a new database. So here are the list of the databases we have already created. So to create a new database, or you can log into an existing database. Okay, so I'm going to create a new database here. So let me create a new database. Okay, let me call the database as test. So if you want to log into an existing database, then you have to use command. Okay, use the name of the database. So now I created a new one, so I will use this one, use test. Now you are inside the database test. Now we are going to create a table. So before I create a table, I need the data, right? So for example, I already have a data. So this is my Hadoop terminal, this is my HDFS terminal. Okay, so here in the path workspace, I already have a file. I have a file called as purchase.txt. So let me show you this file. Okay, so this is a file. Now here you can see there are some data, and this data is about some purchase made by the customers. So the first one is a customer ID, then we have the name of the customer, okay, or first thing will be the transaction ID, okay, not the customer ID. The first thing is the transaction ID, the second one is the name of the customer, then we have the product they purchased, then we have the price of the product. So there is only 4 fields here: transaction ID, the name of the customer, the product purchased by the customer, and the last one is a price. Now we have to load this data into the HIVE. So this is Hadoop, this is HDFS, okay. So the data can be in any format. So here you can see it is comma separated format. It's a text file, it's a comma separated format, okay. Now we have to load this data into the HIVE. So we all know HIVE is schema on read. So the data is already present. So when you, how did you insert this data? In my previous videos, I told you how to import this data into Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so please watch my previous videos to know how to save files in Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so the data is already there in Hadoop distributed file system. Now I want to read this data in the form of a table. So when you read the data, you need a schema because you want to read it in the form of a table. So we will go to the HIVE. So this is Hadoop distributed file system. We will go to HIVE now. Here I will create a schema for that data. Okay, so I will create a table, create table. Let me call the table name as sales. Okay, the first column we have is the transaction ID. So I will write TID, transaction ID. Then the second one we have is the name of the customer. So look at the data and create the schema. Okay, so first see the data and then create the schema. First one is transaction ID. You have to specify the data type. Transaction ID is integer, then name is string, then we have product, that is also string, then the last one we have is the price. Okay, price is float. Okay. Now we have to specify the format of the data. So in the data, if you see every field, let me show you the data again. Yeah, you see the data, every field is terminated by a comma here. So we have to specify what is the format. Sometimes your input file will have a tab, okay. the fields will be terminated by tab, sometimes with space or sometimes with semicolon or comma, whatever it may be. Okay. So now I'll go to HIVE and then write row format delimited fields terminated by comma. Okay, so this is very important. Based on the data, you have to change here whether it is terminated by a comma or a tab or whatever it may be. Okay, so this is a command to create the table here. Okay, so and this create table command purely depends on the format of the data that you have to load into your HIVE. Okay, so you press enter, the table is created. So if you want to see the structure of the table, you can give describe sales. Okay, so here it tells you what are the columns we have. We have 4 columns here. Okay, now we are going to load the data into the table. So I have to give load data. Where is the data stored? It's stored in the local drive. Okay, then you have to give the path. In path, the path of the data. So how to find out the path of the data? I'll go back to Hadoop distributed file system. So here Control X, I will check the path. Okay, I'll give pwd. So look at the path here. Under home, Cloudera, workspace, input files, you have purchased.txt. Okay, so I will give it in HIVE. So I'll give /home /Cloudera /workspace /input files /purchase.txt. So you will be very careful when you give the path. If the path is wrong, then you cannot insert the data. Okay, into table sales. Yes, now the data is loaded. Now you can check the table, select star from sales. Okay, so this is the table. Now you see there is no column names on the table because in the input file also there is no header. Okay, if you see the input file, see there is no header for this file. Okay, and the column names are not displayed here. Okay, so if the column names are not displayed, then you can switch on the column names by typing this set hive.cli.print.header equal to true. Okay, now execute the sales. You can see the name of the columns. Okay, see the first column is transaction ID, second one is name, third one is product, the last one is the price. Okay, now we are going to execute some basic queries on this table. Suppose I want to know what are the different products purchased by Berry French. Okay, this is the name of the customer. I want to find out the products which are purchased by Berry French. Okay, so how will you write query? Select. What do you want to select? I want to see the products. So what you want to display, that you have to give it in the select. So what you want to display? I want to select the product. Okay, product. From which table? Table sales. What is the condition here? The condition is customer name should be Berry French. So conditions you have to give in the where clause. Okay, where name equal to, so I have to give the name of the customer, Berry French. Okay, so here you can see what are the products purchased. The products are appliances, binders and binders accessories. So these are the 2 products purchased. Okay, as usual, how will you execute query in a RDBMS? Same type, all queries can be executed in HIVE also. Okay, now suppose I want to find out which product has a maximum price. Okay, so then I have to execute. So what do you want to find? The maximum price. So in the select I have to give max of price. Okay, max of price. From which table? From sales table. Do you have any conditions here? no conditions. So no need for where clause, finish. Now when you execute this one, you can see all maximum, minimum, count, all these queries will be executed as a MapReduce job. So here you can see you wrote an SQL query, but it is converted into a MapReduce task. Okay, and you will see the output. So we have already discussed about MapReduce. See what is the output? 208.16. So this is a maximum price among all the products. So minimum, maximum, average, okay, some aggregates when you are performing, that type of queries will be converted into MapReduce task by the HIVE compiler in the background. Okay, now let me execute another type of query. Suppose I want to find out how many products are purchased by each customer. Let me show you the data. Here you see Berry French, he purchased 2 products. Carol's Saltero, he purchased 2 products. Carol Jackson, he purchased 2 products. So I want to count how many products each customer has purchased. Okay, so if that is my query, now I'll go to the HIVE. So for each customer, I want to calculate how many products he purchased. So what should be my what should I display? The customer name. Okay, and then I want to count how many products he purchased. So I have to give count star. Okay, I have to give count star. From which table? From sales table. Okay. So now for each customer, so what should I do? If the customer names are similar, I have to bring it together. Okay, let's take the table here. If the customer names are similar, so here if you see the customer names are similar, if the customer names are similar, bring it together and then count. Okay, so this bring it together. Okay, Carol's bring it together and then count how many. So it is nothing but group by. Okay, so I have to group by what attribute? Group by name. If names are similar, bring it together. That is the meaning. Okay, group by name. Now let's see the group by name. Let's see the output. See, I told you all the aggregate queries will be converted to a MapReduce job. So here you can see it is converted to MapReduce job. So what will be your output? The name of the customer and how many products he purchased. That will be the output. So it will take some time because the data is very small. So HIVE performs poorly if the data is small. Okay, so here you can see the name of the customer and the count. Can you see the count here? Okay, so this is an example for a group by query. Suppose I don't want to display all the customers here. I want to display the customer only if their count is greater than 1. So I have a condition. The query is same. I want to group by name and then I want to count. But I am adding one more condition extra. That is, I don't want to display all the customers. I want to display the customer only if the count is greater than 1. So I don't want this Clay, Dorothy, Monica, Mohammed to be displayed because their count is only 1. I want to see how many customers have purchased more than 1 product. Okay, so in that case, my query will be, I want to group by name, I want to count, okay, I want to count from which table? From sales table, okay. I want to group by, yes, I want to group by, so I'll write group by name. But I have a condition, that count should be greater than 1. Okay, so if you have a condition and the condition is on this aggregate, okay, if the condition is on this aggregate, then how will you give? You have to use having. Okay, so having count star, actually we will have one error here. Okay, having count star greater than 1. So when you will use having, only when you use group by, you have to use having. Okay, and very important, when you will use having, when you have a condition on aggregate. If there is some other condition, you should not use having. Okay, when you will use a having, when you have group by and the condition is on aggregate, you will use having. So with the query is over, but there is one mistake in this query. Okay, so when you execute, you will have error because here you are checking for count star, right? Count star greater than 1. Count star is not a column name. It's not there in the table. Okay, so we have to give an alias name for this one. Okay, you know what's alias name, right? Another name for this one, because this is not a column in the table. Actually you are calculating this count star. Okay, oh luckily we got the answer. Okay, sometimes you will get error. Okay, that time here you have to give the alias name. Okay, so count star, here you have to give as an alias name, then use that alias name in the having. Okay, sometimes I got error, but here we got the output. Okay, so did you understand? So here we were using group by in our query, group by as well as having. So when you will use having, when there is a condition on the aggregate, and having will come only when you have a group by. Okay, so now let me tell you another query. Suppose I have, I want to count the number of, or for example, okay, I want to find out the maximum price the customer has spent. Okay, for example, Barry French. I want to display which is the maximum price of the product that he bought. See, Barry French has bought 2 products, right? I want to find out which product is maximum. See, he bought 2 products, which is maximum? 208 is maximum. So I want to print his name, and then I want to print the maximum price of the product that he have purchased. For every customer, I want to print the name of the customer and the maximum price of the product he purchased. This is my question. Okay, the name of the customer and the maximum price of the product that he has purchased. And I want to display the name of the customer only if the maximum price is greater than 100. Maximum price is greater than 100. So here also I have a condition. Okay, so let me write this query. So what I want to display, the name of the customer, and then I want to print the maximum. I want to print the maximum price. Okay, let me give an alias name for this. So I will give this as max price. I'll give an alias name for this. Okay, max price. Now from which table? From sales table. Okay, group by, for every customer I want to do. So I will group by name. Okay, and I have a condition. What is the condition? This max price should be greater than 100. Okay, should be greater than 100. Now I want to arrange this result in the descending order of the price. So I will write order by also. Order by max underscore price. So it is always better to rename a column. So this one, because I am going to use this max price everywhere. See, I am going to use this max price in more than one places. So it is better always to give an alias name for this column. So order by max price descending. So the highest price will come on the top. Okay, press enter. Let's see the output. Okay, so but this is the order. You should always remember this order. Select from, and if you have any where, you will write where clause, then group by, then having, then order by. Last only you have to write the order by. Order by is to arrange the columns either in the ascending order or descending order. Okay, now let's see the output. Taking long time. Okay, so see the result here, the name of the customer and the maximum price he bought. Can you see the highest price comes on top because you arranged this result based on the maximum price and you arranged in the descending order. Do you understand? So this is how you have to write queries. Now let's write another simple query. Suppose you want to list all the product and price. Suppose you want to list all the products and price for the customer named Barry and French. Okay. So let me write the query. This is simple query. Okay. So what I want to display? I want to display the product and the price. From which table? From sales table. Okay, let's add some conditions for only transaction 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so I have a condition. I have condition name should be equal to Barry French, and transaction number should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have two conditions. So where I will write in the where clause where name is equal to, okay, Barry French, right? So I have to give correctly BARRYFRENCH. Okay, BARRYFRENCH, Barry French. And so I have to use an AND operator because I have more than one condition, and TID. Okay, TID should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So can I write TID is equal to 1 and TID is equal to 2 and TID is equal to 3? It's very difficult. So if you have more than one values for an attribute, you can use in operator. Okay, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now press enter. So here you can see you got the result immediately. The reason you don't have any aggregate here. Okay, so you can see there are two products purchased by Barry French. Okay, so if you have two conditions, more than one conditions, you can use an AND logical operator, and you can use OR, you can use NOT. Okay, and if you have more than one values to check for a particular attribute, then you can use in operator to check more than one values. Okay, so these are some of the basic queries that you can execute on the HIVE table. Apart from that, we just created the table. We can also alter a table. We can truncate a table. We can delete a table. Okay. For example, you want to remove the data from the table, then you will use truncate. Truncate table sales. Okay. Only data will be removed. The structure of the table will be there. For example, you can see the structure of the table. Describe sales. You have the structure still, but there is no data. See, select star from sales. Data will not be there. The table is empty. Okay. If you want to completely remove the table, then you have to use drop. Drop table sales. Okay. Now you give select star from sales. It will tell the table doesn't exist. Okay. So hope you understood today's portion. Thank you for listening.